Hello, you beautiful people of God. With so many things going on in today's world, in everyday life, even, it can be quite easy to get anxious. There's lots of things that can happen beyond our control, and even those things within our control can cause us to be anxious, whether we would like to or not. Sometimes it just happens. Even if you are not a person who suffers from anxiety disorder or panic disorder, you can still be affected by anxiety. Some situations in life are more nerve-wracking than others. There are plenty of things happening in today's world that can give you a heightened sense of excitement, heightened nervousness, can make your heart race, give you heart palpitations, etc. But what we should not do is ever let our anxiety get in the way of our faith. You can't give the what if statements any place. Plenty of things can go wrong, but that doesn't mean they actually will. And when they do go wrong, you still have to wait. And even if they do go wrong, you still have to have a way to deal with those things. You can't let your emotions get the best of you. You can't let your anxiety just take over the entire situation. If you know what it's like to deal with anxiety, you know that anxiety can give you lots of racing thoughts, can make you think very quickly, can make you jump to all sorts of conclusions. Anxiety can make you feel the worst, and it's where panic starts to set in. There's all sorts of what if statements out there. What if I lose my job? What if my car breaks down? What if I can't pay my mortgage? What if the person that I love leaves me? What if emergency comes along and I don't have enough to pay my bills? What if one of my parents gets sick? There's so many what if scenarios that we could come up with and what if situations that can happen on a daily basis. It doesn't mean that they will. No matter what comes along, no matter what affliction we may face, God has already told us He's going to provide a way of escape for us. He already told us He's going to deliver us out of them all. He already told us, don't be anxious for anything. There's been 3 things that I have been practicing to help me calm my anxiety. And speaking of calm, the first thing is to calm down. It can be easier said than done, but it's necessary to deal with and manage anxiety. It's necessary so you can keep your faith. The power of life and death is in the tongue, and we do have to speak to ourselves. We do have to speak to our situations. It is okay to tell yourself to calm down. I have to do it all the time, especially when I can feel a panic attack or an anxiety attack coming on. You can practice the deep breathing exercises. You have to find ways to help you relax. Find ways to help you calm down and relax your mind. You can purposely find things that are relaxing for you to do. Sit down in a chair and kick your feet up. Squeeze on a stress ball. Start to sing one of your favorite songs. Anxiety is essentially nervous energy wrapped up in fear. And so you have to find a way to calm both of those. Once you get your body to physically calm down, the next thing you want to do is think things through. Because a lot of times it is the very thoughts that you're having that's starting to cause the anxiety. It's starting to cause your body to react to your thoughts. When you're in an anxious state, you are not thinking very clearly. You are only thinking about the worst case scenario. You are letting your fears and your emotions get the best of you. When you slow down your thinking, you can process the whole situation all the way through. You can come up with different scenarios. You can come up with different solutions for those scenarios. You can put the what if statements to bed, so to speak. You can start to figure out your other options. What other options are available? If this happens, if plan A doesn't work and plan B doesn't work either, here's what I'm going to do in plan C. Oftentimes, when you take the time to think things through, you will find out that things weren't as big of a deal as you had previously made them. Things don't look as bad as they did when you're able to think them through. hindsight. You may find out that you were making a bigger deal out of something than you needed to. You may have been making a mountain out of a molehill. There have been so many times where I have been upset and I jumped right to a hasty conclusion. I would get upset. I would get upset with certain companies or certain services that I received, and I would immediately want to cancel them because of one bad experience. Not realizing that something would work itself out on its own. Sometimes I would get a call from customer service and they would rectify my problem before I had to do anything about it. Sometimes you would be just about to call and cancel something, and then you realize you're going to forfeit your benefits if you do that. So it's always best to think things through to make sure you come with the best logical, rational decision. You can't automatically assume that there is no way out, because if you do that, then you're showing that you don't have faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. The last thing that I have been doing to try to cut down on anxiety is to cast down imaginations, especially when something is negative. When people say negative things to me or they do things to me to make me feel in a negative way, I have begun to rebuke those things. I have begun to cast down those negative thoughts and those negative actions towards me. I have begun to go and search and dig out the truth. I've started to get to know myself enough to know when someone is telling a lie about me, when someone is believing an untruth about me. I know enough about myself to know when someone has the wrong idea about me, the wrong assumption about me. Not so much that I'm going to prove it to them, but I'm going to prove it to myself. I'm going to be stable and sturdy in who I am so that another person's negative thought of me will not take root in my heart. Some things do not have to be the end all to be all. Just because someone calls me a name doesn't mean I have to take it in a negative way. If someone refers to me as weird or strange, I can accept that. And I can say, yes, I am different. I'm different from the world. I'm supposed to be different from the world. I'm supposed to be peculiar. I'm supposed to be called out. I'm supposed to be transformed by the renewing of my mind. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. The fact that you hope for something, the fact that you still have hope for something means that you have faith. Faith is the evidence of things unseen. Maybe you can't see it right now, but it doesn't mean that it's not in your future. Though the vision tarries, wait for it. The vision may not be here right now because it's in your future. It's en route to you. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist just because you can't see it. You may not be able to see it right now because it's still coming over the horizon. You can't see it right now because you have to wait on the Lord. And while we're waiting on God, we don't want to be in an anxious state. Because when we're anxious, it shows that we don't have any faith. We're full of fear and not faith. All we have to do is make our requests known unto God, and He is faithful and just to give us those things. All we have to do is say our prayers and make our supplications. There's no need for us to worry or have anxiety. There's a reason that God wants us to have a sound mind, because when we have a sound mind, we don't have fear. When we have a sound mind, we have power. When we have a sound mind, we can say to the mountain, be thou removed and cast into the sea, and it shall be done. Anxiety is going to keep our mind from doing the things that it should do. Anxiety gets in the way of our faith, and it gets in the way of our activation of our faith. We have to know that we know that we know that God will come through for us. And if we have anxiety, that means that we're worried. There is no need to worry about our future because God already said that He comes to give us a hope and an expected end. He comes to give us an abundant life, not an anxious life. We have to be steadfast and abounding, not moving with anxiety. Don't let your anxiety get in the way while the Lord is directing your paths. Trust God to take you through all the facets of life. Trust God to be your navigator and your guide. Though you may go through the valley, God is going to lead you over all the stumbling blocks. God will not allow your feet to be moved. God's plan is to prosper you, not harm you. Don't walk in anxiety. Always walk into the marvelous light.